that's what I use.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to start there. It's actually sitting right next to me. I just charged the battery for the first time since the trip. I use that damn thing as an alarm clock. You know, the radio turns on before work. You know, I set it every day when I go to work and all that stuff. And I've had that thing since 2012. I bought it when I lived in Seattle, and I brought that thing on vacation with me all over the place. So string that little wire out, you can pick up all kinds of stuff. It's amazing. I tried it in the plane. I couldn't pick up anything. But yeah. Oh, and I turned my cell phone on when I was at like 20,000 feet, and it worked in the plane. So I don't know what changed about cell phones, but they used to not work in planes back in the day. But yeah, anyways, I know you're not supposed to do that, but I tried it. I had to know. But yeah, I'm definitely going to, I don't know. I'll definitely try the Texan thing again first, because I got to screw with the audio settings in the radio too. I just realized I forgot. Because there's, you know, bass and treble. And then there's another way to do it by frequency, and I didn't like the frequency one when I originally did it, but I remember when I moved to this radio from the 7300, I just copied everything, basically. And I can't remember if I went through it again. I don't know. I might have.
But, yeah, in good time, maybe tomorrow.
Copy that, man, for sure. Yeah, man, good to hear you out here, 240, man. Let's do a little bit.
That would just make him use toothpaste so that he can have a good taste in his mouth when it's finished.
The best
Hey, look here, dog. Yeah, it's me, 2-Step, mate. You got it right. It's 2-Step, mate. Donkey Land is real. Donkey Land is real, man. Like I say, we're gonna have to share in the cost, man. We supposed to be neighbors. Northern Cal, Southern Cal, show deal. Y'all take some of these mules, man. Take some of these mules, got me. Having breeding, but never mind.
What's going on in Cali? What's going on in Cali? Cali is getting ready for a civil war. My question.
I can see Mount Man riding on a couple. I can see him, man.
There's really no, you know, no compression on AM in this radio, but you can mess with like the tone. But let's see, go to AM here. But all I have is bass and treble. Oh, and they're both all the way up. That's funny. I wonder if I turned it down a little bit. How does that sound? I just turned it down to 2. Did that help with that high-pitched little robot sound?
It's definitely starting to. I gotta pee real quick. I'll be right back. But yes, it sounded like it was better when you keyed again. We should I'm gonna go take a leak. I'm gonna have to go in the house eventually here, but we should roll down to 17 so that you know, it'll be more useful to you. I think that way you can listen to the gate maybe later in the evening, you know, when you're going to bed or whatever, and you can just kind of hear it. I don't know, unless there's people talking or whatever, but I'm gonna take a leak. I'll be right back.
Roger that. That's not a bad idea. The gate is a very good tool, but especially for this kind of thing with the bass and treble and that robot sound. But all right, I'm standing by.
Okay, that robot sound's sounding less and less. I don't hear it as much, but you know, I don't know if it's when you talk louder or whatever. But okay, I'll be right back, and then after I come back, I'll let you know, and then we'll go back down to the other one.
Roger. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Oh, weird. Check 1, 2, check 1. Check 1, 2. 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 Check 1, 2.
You know, it's funny, these fuckers are still talking. Gosh, that's the first time I said the F word on the radio in a long time. Believe it or not, I've cleaned up my mouth when it comes to being on the air. Yellow Jacket's a big part of that, man. He don't swear on the air at all, man. He don't swear ever. He's a good influence on me that way. But anyway, these guys are still talking skip down on 17.
No shit. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, man, you hear me talk skip, you almost never will hear me say a bad word. Almost never. And I like that. I think that's a good, and you know, I try to do it also just in these kind of situations. You know, when I'm talking to you, it's like, you know, you and me are standing in the same room together, so I'll let some things slip, but, yeah, I've definitely cleaned it up, man. You know, I used to let everything fly all the time. But, no, I definitely, adopted a little, higher standard of etiquette, I guess you could say. And that's just for me, man. I don't expect everybody else to, adhere to the same standard, but, you know, I don't know, I guess, I'm not ashamed to say that I cleaned my mouth up, I guess.
Oh yeah, roger that. Well, hey, you know, a lot of people can hear you. I totally understand. Man, I can do it, you know, at work when I'm dealing with the general public, you know, selling stuff. It just comes naturally to me. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like, especially when we're just talking, for sure. You know, just, it slips. But I understand what you're saying.
I know you get it, yeah. It's just cool to have you back on the radio, somebody out there to talk to again. You know, I don't get out here that often, but it's fun to do this with you. Well, if you want to roll down to 17, we can. I haven't got the call yet that, yeah, it looks like Kilo's on the group text saying that channel 17's pretty busy. I don't know, man, I ain't on the beam, so I'm just going to be, 200 watts on the Omni, I guess.
Oh, you said the gate's on channel 20. Oh, that's tight. Look at that. Hey. Interesting.
Oh, is that what he said? Oh, there you go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. There you go. Oh, man, what a guy.
Here we are. Here we are. Yep. I actually sound pretty good. Oh. Yeah, that robot sound's kind of gone. I bumped it down to 3 instead of 5 on the treble. It's still there a little bit, but I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Okay, 10-4, yeah. Well, I think whatever you changed definitely fixed it. Thanks, Kilo, for bumping rolling the gate up here, man. We were going to come down to 17, but thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. You definitely had our 6 on that one for sure. We haven't had Mr. 45 Kilo. Thank you. It'll be helpful for Kirk dialing the audio. I think he's got it pretty much figured out. We talked to 131 Mustang from California, and he agreed. He's got it pretty close to what it should be for what he's trying to do. But yeah, cool. All right. Well, I guess there's some skipping going on down around 17, man. If it's strong enough, they'd probably take me out of your radio there, Kirk. Cause, like I said, I'm only running the smaller watts tonight, but I'm doing it on purpose because I'm trying to stress test, which is why I don't shut my mouth on some of these keys. I don't talk this long normally, but I'm doing it on purpose. So, anyway, enough of me. Talk again, Kirk. That way you'll hear what you sound like.
I see. Yep, and you're hitting me at 20, so it's working great on the Omni. Yep, bagging, kilo's bagging. But yeah, what I need to do is I need to sit down and listen to myself one day and play with that treble, because if the treble, I know that affects that weird robot sound now, so if I can dial that treble down in the radio, maybe I can, turn the treble up on the board and it'll even itself out, but I don't see, I feel like I had too much treble, so now that I turned it down, it actually sounds a lot better to me. I'm going to drop it down a little more, actually. That's 1. Let me just pull up the gate again and hold on. Okay, here we go. Back down to 1 on... Oh, that sounds great. That sounds great. Yeah. I don't even need to change anything else. And it's gone. Crazy. Sounds wonderful. I mean, I can tell it's there, but it's not prominent,
Yeah, it's a lot better than it was. There's still something else there. There's a little bit of an artifact that I can't really put my finger on, but, you're just getting things all set up. Yeah, Kilo's a goodie. He's got a good ear, too. He's probably got a better ear than I do, to be honest. Honestly. Not just because I know he can hear me now, but I think he's a little more refined than I am. I mean, I can hear some things, and then I can't hear other things, I'm used to what I hear, what I sound like, and what I'm trying to do, and then, when other people are, it's just hard for me to, when you change frequency, when a different voice, every voice is different, and so, I guess I'm just used to me, and, when it comes to somebody else, it's honestly, the best thing is other people, not just one person. Don't ever let one person tell you what you sound like or what you should sound like. Like I said earlier, it's all about what you want to sound like, but, I'm only one guy, and the best thing, and that's why I'm really glad that 131 stopped by when we had the skip conditions. It's, don't ever listen to one person, you know that.
Louis.
I absolutely know that, and the other thing is, you could listen on a different radio and it'll sound a little different. These radios are pretty good for receive. I mean, I can set mine to 10K wide for receive, and that's where you sound the best, and most people do. But I have heard some people, the real loud stations from other places in the country where I could see it on the waterfall, their signal is wider than I can receive, and they sound a little scratchy, a little overmodulated. And I wonder if I had a wider receiver, if it would sound better. But, and then there are some people where they sound weird at 10K, and I have a little filter button preset to 3 different filter widths, and I dial it down even to 6 or something, and they sound way better. So it's very weird. It depends on your receiver, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta send something to Jagger real quick. Yes. Sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna admit I was trying to do 2 things at once, which I'm not good at. Hang on a second, I'll be right back.
Roger, roger.
Is there any forward swing in this thing? There should be. Let me see. Okay, that's a 300 dead carrier. Yeah, the RMS is looking good. So the peak isn't what I want it to be, but anyway, okay, it's working. And all these times, every single time I've taken one of these long keys, the long-winded, shoot, the thing ain't even getting warm, so I guess it's working good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're hitting me, your dead key is right in between 15 and 20, and then you swing forward up to 20, and maybe a little past it, maybe a needle width past it if you get real loud, but you're just about there, yeah. The other thing I got to think about is there's 3 EQ switches on this microphone too. That's the other thing I need to screw with. I screwed with it when it was brand new, but you know I haven't screwed with it. I definitely haven't touched those in 5 years.
And the Tech Sun, I'm telling you, the Tech Sun is where you're going to hear those. That's where you're going to hear the differences. The Tech Sun. I promise you, when you go to change and adjust one of those 3 that I know you're talking about, you'll hear it. And usually not at 2.5, but you'll hear it at 3, and then 5. You'll hear it in a little wider band kind of setting. You'll hear it when you modify. Let's see. I have my the 2 outer ones are down. Actually, all 3 of them are down at the bottom right now.
Okay, you're running a 27? I think you told me that. Yeah, mine are all up, so I don't know.
Yes, I'm running a 27. I've got the 20 also. This is more. It's just a hotter mic, right? It's a little more punch. It's a little more. I can switch to the 20 and see what the difference is. Let me try some. I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to roll a little bit more fat in there. What does that sound like? Can you hear that, or is that too much on your side of the receiver?
It actually sounds a little more full, very slightly, but you have more of the lower mid-range, the bassy, right below the voice. You just the tone, it's right there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what it should have done. But sometimes, I kind of know where I keep it. I mean, I don't do this. That would be way too much, obviously. But right there, that's more the bottom end than I had all the time we've been talking. So, and the peaks. When I do that, the peaks go way up. That's for sure.
Right there where you have it, that sounds the best, right? Whatever you just did when you turn it way down, my speakers crackled actually when you turn the bass way up, but right there sounds the best.
Okay, 10-4. Yeah, that's a little more, and some receivers it'll sound a little too much, but on most receivers, people nowadays, I gotta kind of remind myself, we're not all talking on Cobra 19s and whatever anymore. Most people can hear a little bit more than they could, 10, 15, whatever years ago. So, all right, I'll leave it right there. And yeah, just to put it to you, like the peaks over, so the peak wattage went up way, quite a bit, about 400 watts. It was about 900 peak, and now it's about 1380 exactly. So, yeah, it makes a big, it works the amp, it works things a little bit harder, but it sounds better. As long as it sounds good, I don't want it to be too much.
Well, like you said, opinions, everybody's got their own opinion. It sounds great to me on these speakers and with this radio. Yeah, you just reminded me when I can't remember, I think this is the reason I got this RU6QW board, but I remember, I think it was when I first got the N3, I was looking for a mobile radio, the 2970 N3. I put it in the green truck, and I'm driving home from work, and Yellow Jacket got on there, and I always used to run a stock speaker in the mobile. I don't anymore because of this, but Yellow Jacket got on, and he blew my speaker. The bass, it still worked, but it started to rattle. After that, it rattled ever since. So it was pretty funny, but that was some pretty significant bass there, just driving up the hill, because he was right down the street. But yeah, I've always run a mobile speaker after that. I got a little speaker with a button on it that cuts the high tones out, and it works great. And then I got a different one in the blue truck, and then I run the same one in the Mustang with no audio thing, but the speakers are closer to me, pointed at me, so it works better.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, if you were real close to him, I bet you it would be pretty intense for sure. Yeah, like you used to be. Yeah. Well, I just took a heat gun, one of these. I got a Fluke, one of those laser. What is this? It's a Fluke 62 Max IR thermometer, and I just went back and hit the exhaust of the amplifier, and the exhaust temperature is 92.3. Which is funny because that's damn near close to filament voltage exhaust. Not even I don't want to say too much, only because now that I know that the gate is on this frequency, I can't give away too many secrets. But holy smokes, that's nothing. 92.3.
Wow, that's actually pretty cold. I remember when I lived in Puyallup the last time, I had a candle. For some reason, it was dark or something. Who knows, COVID or something. I don't know. I lit a candle and I set it on top of the amp, and I turned it on, and then it was burning for a couple hours, you know, and then I keyed up the radio and I started talking, and the candle goes out, and I look over, and all of the wax had melted in the little in the little glass dish it was sitting in, and the wick slipped down into the thing, and it went out. So it's definitely hot enough to burn or melt wax, but only when you're transmitting.
Okay. Let me see. So technically, though, I still got some work to do, because if I'm keying 300 watts, if we're talking about AM modulation and we want to be 100%, that means we got to go 3, 6, 9, 12. Hello, hold on. Hello, yep, okay, that's 1200. So if I was to go a little bit more than that, I need to be hitting whatever. Okay. I'm doing something at the same time, watching what I'm doing. Yeah, because, you know, you got to be keying, if you're keying 300 watts on AM and you want 100% modulation, right? You got to be hitting 1200 watts on the peaks. That's exactly what I'm doing. So that should be good, right at 100% modulation as far as headroom is concerned.
Oh yeah, ever since you made that modification when I lived in Florida, whatever you did to sound like this, I remember one day you were like, I did something new, I talked to you, you got this awesome reverb, very slight reverb behind you. You've sounded great ever since, and I don't know if you changed a lot since then, but must have been like 2 years ago or something. I think I talked to you for the first time with it. I think, maybe a little longer, but yeah, it was very impressive. You sound like you're in a radio station.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And the only reason I know it because, you know who started all this. That would be 45 himself. So it's an AC mod, which is, I will say this because I feel like I need to. That was technology stolen from the originator, Motormouth Mall. He's the one that came out with the modulator, right? That was the modification that allowed radios to pass what you actually put into them, and then it was kind of pirated and stolen by somebody else. And so, yeah, if I could use the modulator on this, I would, but I couldn't. So this is what I had to go with. But and that's what other people have used also. And I put all the work and stuff in behind it, and I had a lot of help, from Kilo himself for sure. And that's what allows the radio to output what you're trying to put into it. Because at first when I did it, I got all this stuff hooked up and everything, and I said, man, why do I still sound kind of the same? And it was because all the rack gear aside, you can do everything you want to and put it into a little tiny box that doesn't allow it to go out of it, and you're just wasting all that time and money. And so, yeah, that's why I did it, is because I wanted it to be out there and heard on the air instead of, just look fun and cool in here. And that's what has to be done, is you've got to have that modification done to where it'll actually pass the bandwidth, the audio bandwidth, not the but the audio bandwidth that you've worked so hard to create and accomplish, right? And if you don't have that, then you're just going to be limited by the filters that are built into the radio.
Yep, roger that. That's one thing I've always wondered is, all these radios, it's a tinkering hobby, and the software they use is not open source. So that means, to a certain degree it's encrypted, and you can't, at least to the ones we use, but they're, some nerd guy, computer programmer, would take the software and, decompile it and figure out how to modify it. I'm sure in the software you could make it wider. I would think. I don't know. But because there is some sort of digital processing in here for the audio, that's what makes it so easy. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. You know, if I was to go back and do it again, I probably would not have done exactly what I did. You know, it was kind of a COVID thing. It was just kind of a decision I made, and it was more expensive than I wish that it would have been. You know. And I'll just say it right now. If I could go back and do it again, I would have went with an Apache Labs, which is a radio that's built and designed to, you know, pass anything that you can put into it. It's also built and designed to receive, I think, all the way out to 20 kilohertz, maybe even beyond. And so, you know, the limitation is, you know, I am limited as far as, you know, the receive. Like, you know, these HF radios can only hear, I think I can only hear about 6K wide, to be honest. I don't think I can go beyond that. But an Apache Labs can hear everything probably to 20K and beyond, which is ridiculous. I mean, you're not going to. I'm just saying that the ability of that radio far surpasses anything that you know, any HF radio that any of us would ever use. You know, that's off the shelf. You know, in the ham radio world. The Apache Labs is what I wish, if I could go back and redo it, that's what I would have done. I would have gone with one of those, and you know, there would be no AC mod or anything like that. I would just have the radio that passed, that was built and designed to pass what I wanted to put into it. So, but it is what it is, whatever, you know. I'm happy with it, and until I win the lottery, I'm just going to have to live with it.
Roger that. Well, you know, they say, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I'm looking at your signal on the waterfall, and the majority of your signal is 10K wide. You could say maybe 11 or 12, because there's little pieces on the edges that pop up once in a while, but for the most part, you're 10K wide. You could, like if you yelled into your mic, you might probably have a little wider, but yeah. It's working, that's for damn sure. And then I look at my waterfall when I'm transmitting, and I wonder if it's lying to me. I'd have to zoom in to know exactly. I told you the other day what it said, but I don't know if I'm actually as wide as the waterfall says. That could just be some software thing that makes it look like, you know, a waterfall when I'm talking. I don't know.
10-4. Well, the final audio processor that I use, will only go down to 4.5 kilohertz. Okay, so that means I have 4.5 on the lower sideband and 4.5 on the upper sideband. So that's 9 kilohertz of audio, pretty much, that should be out there right now. I don't know, maybe I could do a little test here real quick. It wouldn't take me very long to roll it up. I could roll it up to 10 NRSC. I could go up to 10 kilohertz and see if that makes any difference on your end of things. But here's the other thing, is that I don't have a lot of audio that's that I've EQ'd that's anywhere past about 6. So in theory, if I was to take this and roll it up to the capacity and the output of the final audio processor, which is 10 kilohertz, which if we're talking about, you know, AM, that would be 20 kilohertz, because, you know, you've got 10 on the upper side and 10 on the lower side. That's what it's able to pass, but I don't have anything EQ'd out to anywhere, you know, near there. There's going to be something that's out there, but I don't know, you know, I don't have anything at 8 or 7 or whatever, so I can roll it up and just see if it makes any difference on your receiver. It wouldn't take me much long, about 10 seconds to do so. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll roll it out to 5.5 and see if that makes any difference on your side of things, but yeah, 4.5 is, I wish I could go down to 3. I wish I could actually go lower than I'm able to go, but 4.5 is as narrow as I can put it.
Interesting. Yeah, on the waterfall, let's see, what is it, 27.2 to 27.210, that's where I see, I just zoomed in on the waterfall. And then I'm just wider than 27.202 and 208, so that's 6. I'm like 6.2 watt total, so that's 3 on each side or whatever, you know. But yeah, it's on the waterfall. I see it. And if you get louder, there's little arms that pop up. But it must be that AC mod thing that does that. I don't know.
That's exactly what it is, because it bypasses the IF or whatever filter in the radio. I'm not exactly sure which one. So I just rolled it up to 6. So that's 6. So if I had the audio EQ'd to where you could hear that, it should be about a 12K wide signal, but I really don't. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's not that. But so I just rolled the final processor to where it's 6 kilohertz instead of 4.5. So I don't know. That probably made no difference on your end, but it really made no difference over here. I don't hear anything different, and the power level and everything's just stayed just about the same. But you know, if you're listening on a wideband receiver, maybe you know, maybe there's a little bit more out there than there normally would be, or where it was when I had it before at 4.5.
Yeah, to me, on the waterfall, it looks exactly the same. I was watching it both times. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I try to do stuff on here, and it makes no difference. I've always hated that ever since I was a little kid. You buy something, it's supposed to do something, and you program it, and it's like, there's no difference. It's like, is that a gimmick, or am I crazy, you know?
Well, see, I got so Kilo just texted. He said he can go to 16K wide, that's the beauty of those SDR receivers, and see what he's always done. And you know, that's why I think one day I would, like I said, I wish I would have gone with Apache Labs, and shame on me for not doing it. And too bad I don't have you know, a money tree in the backyard to where I can just go buy whatever I want whenever I want. But not that, you know, I'm not saying he does, but I wish I did so that I could. But yeah, I sort of lost my train of thought, but yeah, if I was able to one day, let's just say one day, if an Apache Labs comes along at the right price and it's the right radio, you know, that I want, because there's a couple that are, you know, like the Anon, well, just the Anon 7000. Or the 8000. I think there's an 8000, and then now they're into like a G2 or something like that. That's what I wish I was able to have. You know, just a 7000. And Jack has got one. That's what Prime uses. Is a non. I believe it's a 7000. And those radios, you know, if you roll out to that, they'll pass it. They'll put everything, and they've got the EQ built into where, you know, you can EQ what you want to put out there at that wide of bandwidth, right? And you know what I have over here, as far as the EQ part of things, is I can do that, but it's a little more complicated than just. I wish it was kind of all in one box, right? There's a lot of boxes. It would be nice. The less is more, right? And so I don't know. Maybe I'll find one day. I mean, if it's a good deal, I might pull the trigger on it. But you know, I kind of feel a little bit obligated to use what I have and what I've created, and I'm kind of a slave, you know, because it was a lot of money to spend, and I don't know. I want to make sure I get the best bang, you know, the bang for my buck, and I don't know if I would sell it or what, but I would love to have an Apache Labs that I could play with on the side. But the thing about the Apache Labs is, you know, you need to be pretty good with the computers, because it's not just a plug and play. From what the guys, you know, what I've heard, what I've read, and what people have told me in person is, you know, you better be ready for a little bit of a trip down a rabbit hole. And it's not just turn it on and talk. You know, there's some well, I guess computer skills involved that might be a little bit beyond what I've got.
Oh yeah, and you know, I'm a computer guy, so I've always wanted one just because of that, because I think it would be easy. It'd be a lot easier than screwing with everything else. So yeah, but man, aren't they like $5,000 or something? They're kind of spendy, those radios, right?
Yeah, now they are for sure. Yeah, at least. Probably the Anon 7000 was, I bet you, when it was able to be had, I want to say it was about a $3,000 radio, maybe, something like that. You know, and you can find them. You can find them used. People sell them used. $2,500. You know, they don't go down very much. They don't lose a lot of value. Maybe $2,500, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's there's Jack had told me there's two versions, right? So Apache Labs has two versions. There's one that comes with a computer on board, and there's one that does not have a computer on board. And the one that has the computer on board is, from the limited amount of information I have, is easier to use than the one that does not have a computer, that you have to, you've got to add your own computer to it. But also the guys that really, really like the audio stuff and really want to really take the radio to the maximum limits and get out of it what they put into it, those guys always have said, buy the one where you need your own computer, because you're going to need a lot of computer processing power in order to, accomplish what you want to accomplish. So I don't know. A fast computer, I don't know. This is where I drop off and I'm like, I don't know. I've never done it, so I really don't know what to even say about it. But yeah, there's two versions. One has a computer on board and one doesn't. And then there's the other side of the coin where, there's the Hermes Lite, which is kind of a low-power version of everything. It's a
right about right there, Mr. Bolt.
Like 1 or 2 watts or something like that. Somebody will correct me, I'm sure, but it's another way you can do it that way. It's a lot less money. And I believe that it gives you some of the same bandwidth capability in both the transmit and the receive. But in a smaller, less powerful package, and then you just got to step it up from there, right? So you gotta put it into something else, and if you're trying to run high power, well, okay, you're gonna have a few amplifiers in line. So what? So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Something I've always kind of wanted to look into. I just kind of have with the limited time I get to talk on the radio, and I just come in here and turn it on. I kind of think to myself nowadays, I'm like, you know what, Doggone, I don't really want to upset the apple cart, I guess. It's working the way I want it to, and for lack of a better term, I guess I'll just leave it alone.
Yep, I totally know what you mean. I'm looking at them right now. It's $74.95, and they're not taking any more orders until the backlog are shipped, it says. If you make an order, it will be canceled. But 1,500 watts, high power mode, in the radio. Damn, you can drive anything you want with that. That's crazy. And that's the one with the screen. And then the regular one with a screen is $42.95. And then the other one without the screen, where you got to hook your computer up to it. And I would do that either way, no matter what. I would always do that. I'm sure you could do it to the one with the screen too. But yeah, 100 watts for $37.95, no screen. And then they got there's a linear with a screen. I don't know. And then the G1 100 watt, no screen, $17.95. That looks like the most simple one. Interesting. Oh, I saw those 2 skulls that time.
You can see it on your radio?